Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to another nature story time. Tonight, I don't usually read at night, this is exciting, is a very special story time because today, as I am recording this, is winter solstice. So it's just after 5 p.m. and you can tell it is very dark outside my porch. I have my lights on in here so you can see me and see our story. But it is winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year here in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, on the other side of the planet, it is their longest day of the year. And that's because our Earth is actually tilted. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Tilted on its axis. So as we go around the sun, right? Down in the southern hemisphere down here, it's tilted towards the sun right now. So they're getting a lot of sunshine. Here in the northern hemisphere, we're tilted away from the sun, so we get less sunshine, less daylight. When it comes our summer and we come all the way around again, right? The northern hemisphere is pointed towards the sun, southern hemisphere away. So we will get our longest day and they will have their shortest day. But for now, here on winter solstice, we have the longest night of the year ahead of us. So I have a little story to help us celebrate that longest night. Now, solstice has been celebrated for thousands of years by people all over the planet, and people can celebrate solstice in a lot of different ways. We often see solstice celebrated as the sun's birthday. So this longest night is considered kind of the death of the sun. Tomorrow, as the sun rises again, it's the rebirth of the sun or the sun's birthday, and then our days are going to start getting longer again. So sunlight and light are often a big focus of solstice celebrations. It's also a time that people really think a lot about nature, and we observe nature, we appreciate nature, we look to nature during this time of year, right? So what are the plants and animals doing? It's a pretty quiet time in nature. Plants and animals are resting, they're sleeping a lot, they're not seen very often. If it's super cold, they might be hiding from the cold, staying warm and cozy somewhere before things get really busy in the spring. So those are things that we can look to nature and learn from nature and do the same thing that nature's doing. So often during this time of year, people think, right, about slowing down, doing what feels good for them, spending time with family and friends, staying warm and cozy and doing things that you like to do before things get really busy again in this spring. So this is a slow time, a time for joy, a time to do what you love, and just kind of a time to reconnect with you and reflect on what's happening. So our story tonight is called Winter's Gifts. It's an Indigenous celebration of nature, and I was drawn to this story. Delaney found this story for us, and I was drawn to this story because of the title, Winter's Gifts. So winter is my favorite season. I think it gives us tons of gifts. Two of the things that come to mind for me are winter sunsets, which I've been enjoying because they happen right after I'm done with work and it's time for me to walk my dog. And animal tracks is another thing that I love that winter gives to me, and I don't get to observe them as much other times of the year. We could use a little more snow for me to enjoy some winter tracks. But those are two special winter gifts that I really enjoy. Let's see what else winter gives us in this story. This story was written by Kaitlin B. Curtice, illustrated by Gloria Felix. It does have some Indigenous words in here from the Potawatomi language. I've looked them up ahead of time, and I will try my best to pronounce them correctly, but please forgive me if I don't. Winter's Gifts. This story is about a girl named Dani. Dani is the Potawatomi word to describe an affection toward a beloved or special daughter. So Dani represents not just the special love we share with our human families, but also our special status as the beloved children of Creator and of Earth, who is made by Creator to be our mother. I hope you enjoy getting to know Dani in these pages. Dani touches a frost-covered branch on the oak tree in her yard. She shivers. Winter, or Babon, is coming in a few days. Her family will light a fire, or shkode, and think about the darkest night of the year. Maybe some of you light a fire on winter solstice. Many of her friends are afraid of the dark, but not Dani. The dark feels like a hug, and winter is a time for cozy hugs. The dark of winter reminds us to rest. Even the bears rest in winter. Inside, the wood stove glows. Dani cuddles up next to her brother, Bo, and their dog, Sam. She thinks about hugs and good dogs and what it means to wait. The next day, there is more snow on the ground. I really wish I would wake up tomorrow to a lot of snow on the ground. After school, Dani comes home and makes snowballs to throw at her brother. By dinner time, it is already dark. How long does the darkness last? Dani asks her parents. Her dad answers, the dark will be here for a while, but when the sun's birthday, the winter solstice, comes, the days slowly get longer again. That is one of winter's gifts. So here we can see the sun. It takes 1 year for the earth to move all the way around the sun. Because of that tilt on Earth's axis, that's why we get the seasons. Because at certain times where we live way up here in the northern part of the hemisphere, we're further away from the sun, our days are shorter, it gets colder out, and then we get winter. And winter gives us gifts. Dani thinks about the gifts of winter. They are different from the gifts that come during the holidays. Winter's gifts are telling stories and waiting. Another gift of winter is resting, like the bears. After we rest for a while, the sun brings back the grass, the flowers, and the leaves on the trees. Dani remembers the Creator made the sun, or Gisus, to be our grandfather, and the moon, Debagisus, to be our grandmother. They work together like partners to help us understand Earth and the seasons. Dani knows that the Earth is very special. Creator gave her to us to be our mother and provide us with the things that we need to live. On the first day of winter, so that's winter solstice, Dani wakes up excited. At school, Dani and her classmates study the moon's phases. So it says here, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, third quarter, and waning crescent. So each stage of the moon, right, each phase of the moon has a different name. Dani loves Grandmother Moon and is grateful for Creator's gifts of darkness and light. That evening, Dani and her family light candles to honor the beginning of winter, the sun's birthday. They eat lots of food and talk about why they love Mother Earth, or Segamekwe, and Creator so much. They also talk about their ancestors who celebrated the changing seasons. So you can see here, feasts are often a really big part of winter solstice. It comes after the fall harvest. It's a time to celebrate. A lot of food was used. Some people might be familiar with the Yule log, which is often part of winter solstice, or it said they light candles in honor of the sun's birthday or the return of the sun. So lights, kind of cozy ambiance, is also a really big part of winter solstice celebrations. Maybe your ancestors celebrated winter solstice in a certain way. The next day at school, Dani tells her friends about her winter celebration. They laugh and say that it's strange to celebrate the earth. Dani tells them about the gifts of rest and waiting. They say, the earth doesn't give us gifts. Dani walks away, confused. It sounds like her friends at school don't really understand. At home, Dani sits beneath her favorite oak tree, where she built a fort. She talks to the trees and touches the snow. She thanks them for their gifts and hopes that one day her friends will understand too. Have any of you ever had a moment where maybe you really like something or you celebrate something and your friends just don't understand? It can be hard. That night, Dani tells her parents how sad she is that her friends don't believe in Mother Earth's gifts. Her mom says, "Sometimes we forget that we are all friends with the earth and every living creature. The winter teaches us to rest, to remember, and to be thankful. Your thankfulness is your gift to Mother Earth, Dani." That night, she dreams she is gathered with her friends in a big circle around a giant tree, linking arms and singing. As they sing, the animals come to join them. They sing to Grandfather Sun until he sets, and they sing as Grandmother Moon dances into the sky. The next morning, Dani thanks Creator for the dream, whispering, "Miigwech, mamogosnan." So thank you, Creator. She gets dressed and runs outside to her favorite oak tree. Leaves dance in the wind, and snow falls off the branches onto her head. Dani laughs. Her friends from school come and ask if she'd like to go sledding with them. Afterward, they come back to Dani's house for hot cocoa. Dani can't decide if she should show them her tree. Will they laugh? Then she remembers what her parents told her. She is proud to be friends with Mother Earth. "Would you like to see my favorite tree?" she asks them. Her friends follow her outside. "How did you build this fort?" they ask. "This tree is amazing," they say. Dani wonders if she should tell them about her dream. She is nervous, but she remembers what it felt like to sing with all her friends and the animals. She takes a deep breath. A few of her friends giggle and say they need to go home, but two of her friends ask to hear the song from the dream. Dani closes her eyes and begins to sing. As she finishes her song, it begins to snow. They all run back inside for another cup of cocoa. "Tell us about winter's gifts," Dani's friends say. Dani tells them about waiting for spring, about Grandfather Sun and Grandmother Moon, and about rest. Her friends smile. Dani smiles too. The end. So Dani took a chance to share something that was pretty personal to her with her friends, and then it ended up being something that she could share with some of her friends and they all really enjoyed together. So that must have taken a lot of courage for Dani. She was very brave to do that. So I want you all to think about winter's gifts and the things that we get from nature. In the story, they mention that the gift we give back to Mother Earth is being thankful, right? Showing gratitude for everything Mother Earth does for us, for all the resources we get from Mother Earth that we need to stay alive, and what we can do to say thank you to Mother Earth. One of those things would be to help take care of her, right? So at Happy Dancing Turtle, we talk a lot about stewardship, which means to take care of something, how we can take care of Mother Earth. And yesterday we had a library program where we made some gifts for Mother Nature and for the animals and wildlife. So I will put some resources down below if you want to learn more about winter solstice or the history, or follow along with some recipes that you could use to make some gifts for wildlife. Those will be included there, a way that we can give a gift back to the earth. So that's our story for today. I hope you all have a wonderful winter solstice and happy holidays, and I'll see you again soon for another story time. Bye-bye.